in my experience, most of the time be like, yeah, it's a pretty great game or it's a pretty great movie or something. It's just so fucking stupid and woke. That's what pisses me off. And they get mad about that aspect of it. Although there are still people, as you pointed out, who will twist themselves in knots to justify. Yeah. And that's where QAnon is. That's all of this stuff. Reality means nothing.
Sure. But you know where reality means something.
Fuck you.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to PixelLit. My name is Kevin. Alongside with me, as always, is Phil. And continuing on from last week, Dylan is here. We're going to finish off Golden Axe.
Dylan, I want you to appreciate what just happened here. Kevin has in how many episodes have we had so far, Kevin?
We're 60 something. We're closing in on 70, I think.
Damn, that's rad, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This is only the second time that Kevin has actually managed to take me completely off guard with the but do you know what is intro thing. Like he got me on our year anniversary show and he got me now. So
nice.
Well done.
The consummate professional.
I was like, ooh, he's ranting. This is perfect.
Let's get him.
It's
like you need the producer to keep. Otherwise, I feel like it's I tried to conduct my own, not like a podcast, or it was something like an interview. Like when you interviewed me that one time, Kevin, there was a YouTuber who was like doing something similar, and neither one of us. We ended up just like ranting about or like just talking about random shit for like 3 hours. And it was like 3 hours I did not have to like spend like on that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And afterwards I was like, fuck, I'm like 2 hours behind. It's just so easy to like do if you just get caught up chatting about just any old thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what happens when you surround yourself with kick-ass people. It's a mother.
Yeah, sure. It's like, you want to talk about this? And like, oh, damn, did you see this thing later? It's like,
oh man, I want to talk about
that. We do have to talk about the Golden Axe book. That is the premise of why we are here. It's oh yeah, you're right.
Let's talk about the show that we were on.
Yes. Remember the show?
Remember Ash Battler? He's doing something.
Ash Battler. Well, Ash Battler.
Oh,
more like
Battler.
Assholer. Nailed it.
He did. It's like he did show a moment of contrition when he got attacked by that skeleton who fucked him up a little bit. That's about all.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, oh man,
my greed. He's a good guy. I think we can all agree.
He thought about his life and his decisions a little bit at one point, maybe.
Sure.
So we're picking up at chapter 9. And Axe. He arrives at the castle and he just kills so many dudes here. But he's out of potions. And in my notes, I don't know why I wrote this. He's out of potions. What's a bro to do? Anyway, the chapter ends with loud footsteps approaching him. And Axe breaks the fourth wall and says something about how he'd be really bummed if this was anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. That was
That's right.
There are quite a few moments moving like in like the castle section that go off the rails like a little bit like that, and it's not
Looney
good.
Tunes.
It is certainly. I don't know, man. Like my hot take about this book is that it's the good kind of bad. You know what I mean? Where I was the whole time I was reading it, I was like giggling and whatever. And what I will say, as they say, is that sometimes, I don't know if you guys feel this way either, but sometimes in like an action scene or like usually I feel like there were action scenes. I almost feel like, ironically, even though some of the variability in like quality and like engagement is so intense, but there would sometimes be bits, and I wish I had one like here to give as an example. Otherwise, it just sound like I'm full of shit. Where I was like, dang, like that's like an interesting like way of describing that, or like that was an interesting little addition or like insight into the situation that I thought was like semi-legitimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I couldn't just. It's like tougher. I don't know.
You can't just let that one go.
Yeah, it's like it recontextualizes the whole thing where you're like, shit, am I like dunking too hard? Like, and then you'll get to the next part and you'll be like, no, like, nope. Maybe not.
Nope.
And
hey,
dunk is a strong word. I like you. Oh my God.
America
Alex,
runs on Duncan, and so does this podcast.
You're right.
Damn right.
Goddamn right.
Capitalism, man.
Yeah, baby.
Capitalism, man. Fuck it. I'm finishing my coffee.
Also, low key, Duncan is really good. Like, we don't have Duncan here. I don't know.
Oh, you don't have it in California?
No, man. Like, there occasionally you will find one, but they are rare.
They're
we have far between.
We have Dunkin' Donuts. It's pretty much up and down the East Coast now, I believe.
I figured.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
it's like I feel like maybe they start having Dunkin' at the whatever the divider line where Carl's Jr. becomes Hardee's.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what the fuck's up with that.
The Carl's Jr. Hardee's crossover.
Yeah,
is Dunkin's appear. Anyway,
Dunkin's appear in the wild. Yeah. In chapter 10, Axe fights two dudes in chapter 10, and they nearly kill him, but they don't, and he wins again.
There's no beating this guy. God.
There's no beating this guy.
No,
he just keeps on winning. He just keeps on fucking winning, man. This is what happens, Larry. This is what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps. He enters the castle, and in chapter 11, he beats the shit out of some thieves. There's a room with thieves just dancing around in it. I bet they were probably having some sort of like prayer ritual to the thief god, and he just comes in and interrupts, and he just like picks one up and he throws it again. He bops him hard. He throws one against the wall.
Oh man, really? Okay, sorry.
No, I'm making
that's worse than usual, and we've had a lot of descriptions.
Making it all up.
Okay,
I'm just I'm just adding my own flavor
geez.
text to it now. Because I think that would be, if you went like full Patrick Bateman, I think that would be fun.
But this is like literally the fourth or fifth like scene in the book where like he's I go and beat some thieves up, and it's like we don't need more of that. Why are you doing this to us?
Why?
It's already a 70-page book. It doesn't need padding.
Yes, it's like because the actual reason is because these, and I again. I'm assuming this because I've not even played Golden Axe long enough to have used these potions, but it's very clear that the potions are supposed to be, a major mechanic where like the more potions
they're
you
like
have,
the supers. Yeah, right. They're the supers.
So it's like I get this many potions and that allows me to do, the more potions I have, the better my attack is.
The better the magic attack is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I assumed because we got so many, it's like, we need to hear exactly when he gets these potions because the potions most of the time come up in the battles. He's like, here's when I use my potions and something crazy happens and then it explains how he's able to beat them or whatever. But in this castle, there are moments in which I swear to God, it just goes like, and then he used the potions and won.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you're absolutely right, Phil. It's like I don't need to hear about the potions then. If we've now gotten to that point where we're just scooting right along and it's not that hyper specific.
There are so many moments, exactly that moment where I'm just imagining him like playing the game, throwing the potions because he does this dramatic like lift thing and the potions go and he like does it and you're just watching the screen and you see pause and it cuts to this guy. Put his Genesis controller down, and then he used the potions.
Threw the
potion. One.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. That's pretty much how it happens. If you read the first letter of every sentence, it spells out a little bonus scene of that. Continuing on in chapter 11, he overhears General Heartland, which is actually a character's name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. General Heartland is talking to some of his soldiers, and the king and the princess are tied up to the ceiling. They're in chains up in the ceiling, and Axe breaks in on this conversation, and he fucks these guys up. They're dead. He just bam, kills them. But then, holy shit, Death Adder shows up. Oh my God, it's Death Adder. We're in chapter 11. We're 5 chapters out, and we're getting Death Adder already. That's surprising. And Death Adder absolutely wrecks him.
Yeah.
Just wrecks him. Insert more quarters, please.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really what it does come down to.
This battle. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is where one of my favorite, like, probably my favorite, like, exchange happens, like actual dialogue exchange. It's between Death Adder and I almost said Golden Axe Battler. Death Adder says, "You will pay dearly for the trouble you've caused me, Axe Battler. Oh yes, I know who you are and why you're here, but I shall not allow an impudent flea to get in the way of my conquest of Uria." Which is like, not bad, I guess, whatever.
Fine. Yeah.
And then Axe, "An impudent flea I may be," said Axe, "but this flea intends to kill the dog upon whose back it sits, not merely cause the dog to scratch." I was like, bro.
That's going up on the Sunday quote on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so
that sure is.
Yes, I do not mean to dunk. It's just, it's so funny, and like it's
a beautiful line.
Oh, it's terrific.
I'm gonna unironically say I love that line.
It is actually a good line. Yeah, it's
sure.
That is somebody who read Conan, and or maybe watched the movies and was like,
I was going to say, I'm missing that cultural context in this. I never read the books. I've seen the movies.
The movies fucking rule, too. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The movies are,
If you won't let me scratch the dog, then to hell with you.
Yes. It's like the cycle of like 6 different VHSs that would always be on at my dad's house. Yep. You know what I mean? Like in that one and Dante's Peak. It's another classic.
Oh God, Dante's Peak.
There's a whole last podcast episode. We can't. Oh, have you? Oh my gosh.
We've talked about disaster films and how they happen in pairs. Yeah, they tend to happen in pairs. What Dante's Peak? What was that?
It was was it just called Volcano?
That is a movie.
The one. I think so.
Dante's Peak.
I think. Yeah, so Dante's Peak
is the one with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
That was.
And then the
Volcano. The other one's just called Volcano.
Yeah. No one's called
there you
go.
They both came out in 1997.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Tommy Lee Jones is in Volcano and Pierce Brosnan. What was it? Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yep. Oh yeah! Holy crap! I never noticed that. They were like, right in the same era.
Oh yeah!
Disaster movies happen in pairs.
Absolutely, they do.
I actually did. I mean, Phil, both of you would actually like know this already. But when I was like a script intern for a little bit, my sick unpaid, the first job that I had out of school, and I worked for. Well, actually, I don't know. You should bleep. I worked for Bleep. You guys, I don't want to give you additional editing. I worked for somebody who was a producer and used to, had enough clout, at least at the time, to kind of like get the same scripts as like, WME and CAA. And I wonder if that doesn't happen because, you would get a script that would come across your desk and maybe like either you would pass on it because you thought you could do it better, or someone else picked it up and you thought it actually had potential, and then you kind of had a writer come in and make yours. Is that why that happens?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh shit, there's we wanted this one. There was a little bit of a bidding war.
Yeah.
Fox got it. But WB
we
wants
can still do it, right?
We can still do it. The idea, like, it's not like the idea is broad enough that we can do it still. So I think
all these like producer dick measuring people too. Not to again. That's why you gotta bleep.
Producers,
nice guy, but certainly yes. It's like, you mean that fucking guy over at WME is gonna get to make my script? I don't think so. I'm gonna make it better.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think so. We're making Deep Impact.
Yeah.
Which
it's like, and it's gonna be so people are gonna love this way more than Armageddon for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna make a really somber movie about a meteor impact, and people are gonna love it.
Liv Tyler, yeah, and that's why people like it.
Yeah, it's not gonna have Liv Tyler or Aerosmith.
No, nothing you can enjoy will actually be part of this.
It's gonna have Taya Leone.
So,
oh my god,
so there's that.
Wild. The asteroid wars of 1997.
Of 1997.
I think that's what you guys said. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway,
something along those lines.
Yeah, Ash Battler was.
Ash Battler continues. He gets destroyed, and then he gets up and he uses some potions to kill the skeletons. But Death Adder still has him on the ropes at the end of chapter 11. It's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger until you turn the page, and it's not anymore because the princess screams and it startles Death Adder, and Axe is able to dodge out of the way and fight and kill Death Adder, and that is that's the end of Death Adder.
And it's really like lame, isn't it? I remember that.
Super lame. He rescues the king and the princess, and the king mentions Death Adder was not the final bad guy, and that the real villain is behind that door.
Behind this curtain.
And
yeah. I was like, all right.
And then Axe notices how hot the princess is before continuing on his
he's
quest.
A man. He's a man of needs.
Of course. He's a man, and he's gone days without.
Yes. They gave him. Yeah. Oh my god, you're right. It has been like a week long. I do. I remember there was a part. It's like, I guess this is kind of the like, he's not like an unthinking brute, but like just about, where at one point I just remember it saying, I'm trying to find it now, where he like it's like their eyes met, but then he like looked away, and it's like, oh, he's respectful, and like he doesn't want to linger for too long, and then like like a paragraph later, it's like their eyes met again, and this time he did not look away, and this was when he realized like how beautiful the princess is. I'm not reading that verbatim, but I bet you I'm trying to find it, it's like just about verbatim.
It's pretty much that. Yeah.
Yes, it's like they're not going to quite get away without commenting on how the princess is super hot. But that was, I feel like, the attempt to make him only 60% gross instead of 100. Right. You know what I mean? Which is like
the editor.
And when was this published?
89, 90.
Like, I guess I shouldn't be again.
Well, the game was out
the book.
In
sorry,
90.
I mean
the book was.
I want to say I can find it as we continue. I'll find it.
Yeah. Continue. He goes in. He goes right into that door, and he's now in a dark path. The path is only 4 feet wide, and as he's walking, there's people attacking him, and he's like, "Haha, you can't hit me!" And he's like dodging out of the way, and these people are falling off the edge of the thing, and It's very much a final boss area that he's walking into, and that's chapter 13, and continues on into chapter 14. He's just walking, noticing that there's these statues on the walls, and the statues are like the statues of the bad dudes that he's been fighting.
It's a hall of defeat, basically.
It's a hall of defeat, yeah. And he gets he suddenly. The statues come alive and start attacking him. And he's not able to destroy them with his sword. Skull Crusher fails him, but he does push them over the edge. Except he himself falls over the edge. Oh no, what's a boy to do? What's a boy to do?
It's like, I know.
Dylan, did you find out? Let's pause. Dylan,
this was published in 1992. So like
2 years.
Again, yeah, 2 years after, and very early 90s, and we all know the 90s. So again,
we're well aware of the 90s, yeah.
Yes. I'll rescind the degree. The idea, it's like, does someone get credit? It's like where you want to make a character 40% less gross in 1992. Maybe some.
The editor
you know
sent back the draft that used the term titty meat instead of we feel we're like several points for accuracy, but we're hoping to be less accurate if possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we also can't say that her the clap of her ass cheeks was alerting the guards, We gotta strike that
let's
one.
Remember
right
that
out.
her father's
Oops.
right there, kids. It's we're gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
Colonel.
Yeah. Wow. That was really good, just so you know. Like, that was, like, if I had my eyes closed, I would have been like, what? Damn, dude.
Colonel.
Yeah, I swear. God, I'm serious. That's a
It's
good.
I'm trying to
honestly
sneak
what we're
around,
going
but I'm dummy thick. And the clap of my ass cheeks is alerting the guards.
I know, it's classic. I can't believe that. I was like, gee, Phil, you're aware apparently that you know that he can do
we
this.
Both have, we both have got about a dozen voices in us each, and that's his best one, in my opinion. I think.
Oh man,
we did
nice.
we did a Metal Gear book. And so half the time I was talking as Solid Snake when I could. And every time our guest on that episode, Jesse Grasho, was just like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's good, man. That's solid. No, if only it's got to be hard, man.
That continues on. It's actually not that
it's like no.
I don't know how David Hayter does it for
yes.
however many recording sessions he does it for.
Yes, some of these people, consummate professionals.
So Axe pulls himself up and gets his sword back. Hey now.
Hey, twofer.
Hey, 2 for 1. He then encounters 2 gold-plated giants, and he's able to get them to fall off the edge. And he's able to do the RPG player in all of us. What we all do is we hoard potions. We got to get that counter. We got to get that counter up to 99 before we get to the final boss.
That's right. He says specifically, he's like, I didn't want to use my potions yet in case I need them later.
In case I needed them. That's it. That's the Axe Battler's a true gamer.
That strategy
absolutely
has never
capital
changed. It never will.
Yes.
Yeah, he finished Final Fantasy VII with 99 mega potions in his inventory.
It's so frustrating,
big old bag
man.
of Phoenix Downs.
Yes.
And I wrote in my notes, good for him.
Yeah, man, that's a good choice.
Takes discipline.
Yes,
it does take discipline.
Yeah.
And then in chapter 16, we meet Deathbringer.
All right, real quick.
Yeah,
I want to
go
point
for
this
it.
out. Today, when I read this book, and I read Deathbringer, it was the first time I put together that Death Adder is not. He's not
Adder
named
like the
after
snake.
the snake. He's named that he adds up deaths
He adds death. Yeah.
Based on Deathbringer. Because he brings death, he adds death. With a name like Axe Battler, I refuse to believe that that's not the case. It took me 40 years to figure it out.
Yeah, dude, I think because there's not a single reference to anything snake-like at any point
There's
in
no
the
snake.
entire. Holy shit!
He could have been called Killdoer.
Killdoer.
Killmaker.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
Is nuts.
I kind of like Killmaker. I would actually.
Killmaker's
unironically am now going to write a story with a villain named Killmaker.
I like it.
Damn, I can't believe that.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes, that is absolutely insane. I
was today
Killmaker's in the next room.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus, I'm more embarrassed that I just didn't put that together at all. I read the whole thing. I'm like,
I had that.
That was weird.
I had
that
that thought after. After when I got to Deathbringer, I had the same thought when I got to Deathbringer. I was like, wait a minute,
Wait a
Bringer?
Get it here.
He's not like Death Cobra. He's Deathbringer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. No other references in any of the other names to snakes.
He's the half brother of Life Subtractor.
Yeah.
Life Subtractor.
That's who we're talking about.
So, he remembers his friend Alex. Do you remember Alex?
Oh,
does anybody else remember
That's
Alex?
right.
He was so well defined and written about.
He was so well defined.
He's your best friends.
He was your best friends. Are you a bad enough dude to avenge your best friend? Oh my god, and he is.
Yeah,
he sure is.
Wow,
Killsbringer
really just like hit the same notes. These games, you know.
What I
mean? Like Alex is in the game. He's like a dude that you talk to for like 3 seconds, like at the very beginning of the game, and it would match up with that's Double Dragon. Are you bad enough, dude?
No, that's bad dudes.
No, that's Bad Dudes.
Oh, that's well.
Yeah,
I should have.
Right there.
Might be on that one. I knew it was one of them. I guess I should have assumed. That's double egg on my face over the course of, like 3 minutes. Death Adder and bad dudes. I'll see you guys later.
Are you a bad enough dude to save President Ronnie? And honestly, the answer is no. You should probably leave.
Are you a bad enough dude to let him die? How about that?
Leave Ronnie for the Sandinistas.
Yeah. He did it to himself.
Capitalism, man.
Capitalism
himself.
Fuck capitalism.
Fuck it. So he gets the axe, gives it back to the king, and he leaves the castle without saying a word for some reason. And he throws on a pair of sunglasses, and we hear off in the distance, yeah! And Bob O'Reilly starts playing, and that's the end of that's the end of it. Or is it? Question mark.
That's right. It does end that way. There's
That's
your
right.
cliffhanger.
It literally does the or because he's just woven this tapestry of a world for us. How could we not be champing at the bit to find out what happens next?
Yes.
Or is it? And I urge you to find out more at your local library.
Do you guys know if he actually made a sequel to this one? Because I will read it on my own time. Fuck me.
I believe the 5 are all that we got. I think it was a much shorter series in the Worlds of Power book.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
No.
That's a Reading Rainbow reference.
Now, question: did we get a reading list at the end of this one?
I believe
we did not.
All right.
Is there?
It's automatically inferior. That's all there's.
There is. Well, okay. Well,
hold on.
I might be betraying my ignorance. This might be me, getting dunked on 3 times in 4 minutes. But we do get a list of other books that he's made at the end. Is that a reading list?
No. What we're referencing is at the end of World of Power books, the Nintendo ones. FX9, our dear, close and personal friend of the pod, Seth Godin, would have an actual list. If you liked this, you might want to, and it would be hilarious because it would go from like totally appropriate for kids stuff to fucking Heinlein. And
oh man,
yeah.
So like, Robert Heinlein, like not Starship Troopers, but something else that Heinlein wrote. And like
that's the only one I know.
Yeah, check out.
I gotta check out this reading list, man.
If you like Mega Man 2, why don't you check out I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison?
The Children of the Corn.
If you enjoyed Ninja Gaiden, why not try out Fascism by Robert Heinlein?
Absolutely. It's like, it's important for our children to have a breadth of knowledge about all different kinds. Well, and Wiley's a fascist. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
totally
got an army of robots that I'm sure that all the fascists would love to have.
Yep.
It's very appropriate.
It's kind of it is a battle for the ages. It's a weird battle because Mega Man's a cop. So it's
the Harry Potter, one of the Harry Potter conversations. You know what I mean? It's
if you like
don't
Ninja
dig
Gaiden,
too deep.
Read Shogun by James Clavell.
That Heart of Darkness.
I've read Shogun. Have you read Shogun, Phil?
I've never read Shogun.
It is a long fucking book.
Yeah, I remember it was one of the only books I've ever seen. You'll see, because I basically live at used bookstores. And it's one of the only books I've ever seen, and you'll see it at used bookstores all the time, where it's in 2 volumes. Usually they just
it's a double VHS cassette book.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. You have to change the tape midway through your book.
It's fucking crazy.
Do you know how long are we talking here? Like approximately.
I mean,
I feel like I've seen these books go like 1,700 pages, and they're like, no, we'll still put it in one. So it's got to exceed that.
I mean, Kevin, I feel like 1,500 pages might not be far off.
The word count is 425,000 words.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, for reference, the line for a novel, for something that is a novel, is like 50 to 75, depending on who you're looking at. 15 to 75 is like the low end for length for a novel.
Great Gatsby, I think, was like 47.
Great Gatsby's pushing it. Great Gatsby's like closer to a novella, but we're not going to hold that
No,
against
but I'm
us,
just
guys.
like for page count and everything, for their.
Yeah. Sure. Shogun is, so the word count is 425,000.
Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
That's 1,152 pages, but that really depends on how you're typesetting that bad boy.
Yeah.
So I just did some basic math here based on the average kind of words per minute that a person can read, and you're looking at approximately. Oh, wait a second. Okay, 425,000 divided by, it says the average here is about 240 words per minute. So,
sure.
And the end result is 1,770. That would be hours? That would be minutes.
That'd be minutes.
Okay, I would divide this by 60. Yeah. It's a 30-hour book. That's 30 full hours of your
that's
time
your Stephen. That's your basic. That's like the Stand. It's probably about the comparable length to the Stand and It and some of the other books that Stephen King wrote before he gave up amphetamines.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding.
Still easier to read than Atlas Shrugged.
Still easier to read than Atlas Shrugged. You read Atlas Shrugged, right? Yeah, you did.
Capitalism, man.
Capitalism, man. Fuck it.
Fucking capitalism.
One day I'll actually read it.
I love this show so fucking much.
Yeah, you guys have a great concept here.
Final thoughts on this book. Phil, I'll let you go first. What's your?
I would say this is the second to worst of the. If you like you said, if we're putting the World of Power Sega game books all on their own little shelf,
they get a.
I'd say that this the only thing that this is better than would be Mega Man 2.
Yep.
I gotta listen to that episode. Jeez,
you're gonna love it.
Oh, cool.
We did it with Scott, and whereas Mega Man 2 literally was just like this happened, with one or two inexplicable add-ons. Like
he's human now.
They make him human for like Dr. Light's like, hey, step into this machine and it'll actually improve your powers. Oops, it didn't do that, but it did make you human.
Damn it.
And that's never addressed. It's just
damn it again,
man.
Yeah. And so this one isn't. It's still very cut and dry, very straightforward. But we do have these interesting, like the turtle conversation sticks up my head. The eagle, even the weird shit with the fucking the fatty thing and like just killing. It's bad, but it's like weird. Like it keeps you like think like what the fuck is going on with this book. So it's but still that puts it at
above Mega Man.
In my opinion, our third worst book we've ever read.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Depending on how you're talking about overall rankings. If we're merging the two lists,
overall, I would say if I were taking those out of the shelf and individually
sorting them,
because Mega Man 2 and Dead Space Martyr, I say, are not dead heat for absolutely.
Worst.
All right.
Because whereas Dead Space Martyr is a far better written book in terms of I know how to write a novel. It is one of the most boring, stupid, just like long, and it's like this is Dead Space for God's sake.
Yeah, like you have a lot to work with. That's the kind of thing that would frustrate me versus something like this, which is just.
It took an hour to read,
right?
So
yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, Axe didn't give it to me.
Oh shit! It's like bam. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had. If I had that song, I'm gonna just start adding that song to my soundboard, so I can just play it whenever that happens. It's never gonna happen again, but just in case
you'll be ready.
I'll be ready.
Yes,
I'll be ready. And hold on,
Dylan, what did you think, bud?
I mean, really, I would echo. Pretty. I mean, I've not read those other books. I thought.
Oh,
boom! There it is.
There's. I'm always like 5 minutes too late on
Which actually makes it better. You know what I mean? It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny where they're like making fun of, or like they, say something and then like Dee, like a minute later, she's like, and that's why, and then like she's stupid, right? Or like something like that. And they're like, what? And she's like, to like what you said before. And they're like, oh my God, Dee, your comedic timing is so bad. Like, Jesus. So it's like even funnier. God, I really do love that show. I enjoyed this book completely as like a, the type of book that we mentioned earlier where it's like a good bad book. The writing itself is like I hope this does not sound too mean when I say it out loud, because like the author,
don't worry.
Again, I really do. If he ever sees this, like I respect someone who's willing for, I don't care if it's like, it's scarier if you think it's actually a good idea, but if it's that, or if it's just naivety thinking you're going to be able to make something good like from it, I respect anyone who has the chutzpah to actually just take a video game and like beat for beat make that into the book. You know what I mean? When it's like this super, super simple, like whatever. The book is not, the mean thing that I was potentially going to say is that there's this, I need to send this to you guys actually. I think you'd both love it. My good friend Tyler wrote a short story when we were in like third grade. It's called Intro Dimension. And it is like a third grader's conception of like a spy thriller, right? Replete with like both, a third grader's understanding of the concepts that it attempts to explore. That part's not really analogous to here. The parts that it's analogous is it's a third grader's kind of like grammar, like, and writing. That's what I'm afraid might be too mean. It's like so much of the book, and again, this is not even the content, so it's like, I'm almost mean just for who even evaluates something necessarily on the grammar, like on how it's like written. But it's funny and fun. You know what I mean? Like there's so many like the way, like just some of these lines, like the one that I read, or like some of the I saved one that is the perfect kind of encapsulation of what I'm talking about. Give me 2 seconds to bring it up here. If this does not demonstrate it, it was just so reminiscent of this, and we love this book. We want to like edit it and make like a little fun thing. Not the Golden Axe, but my friend's book. It's just got so many funnily phrased sentences that just make you giggle, like when you hear it, right? So like here's one from Golden Axe, and there are many like this, where it says, "Who or whatever was holding the Golden Axe still ruled Uria and was still evil." That's like what, when he realized there's like another big bad behind the door, right? That's like what it says. There's just like some brilliant, it has like the same energy as like that one Half-Life fan fiction where it's like Gordon Freeman backflipped and shot heads below. Just like amazing like grammar. It's like those sentences from like an SAT question where it asks you how to rearrange it in like the way, and it's hard. I feel like this book was written in like 2 sittings. So like, that feeling that you get, like you're both writers, when like you don't realize that you're starting to kind of like repeat sentences and structures and things like that, or you start glossing over shit that you had taken like an hour to kind of explore the details of before, like that kind of inconsistency that just made it so funny, like to get through. And then beyond that, it's just like I've never read a book that so clearly was exactly what happens in a video game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like a simple video game. And there's like these little, we didn't get a chance to like talk about them. I didn't remember like where they were, but Kevin and I were talking about it like before we started recording. There's some bits where like the author tries to reference, like makes like these cheeky references to like one of them, like Axe remarked on how there were 2 houses that both had the number like 1370, like the address 1370, which is very clearly like him trying to make a joke about how the background art probably repeated like in the game. Right. Or like there's parts where, of course, when he's describing every little thing that happens with the battles, like, presumably there's some part where there's an exploit where you can like sit there and like kind of chop at people's feet and like it's a part of the game where they can't hit you back. He puts this shit in the book. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is, it's like, how do you not respect that?
Hidden as a novel,
borderline
or a short story,
as a novel. Yes, and I've never. maybe I'm just, not in the game. You guys maybe evidently experience this kind of thing more often, but I never read a book that was like that. And that just made it this really fun novel experience. And of course, it's an hour read. It's not Dead Space, this other one that makes you sit there.
Yeah. It comes with the territory, is all I'll say to that.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess I need to go and read some of these other ones.
Yeah. We have found ourselves in a very particular niche, and that's just a lot of these books somehow.
Yep.
I was going to ask Kevin, obviously we still got to hear your thoughts like on the book overall, but when you guys said those, you were ranking the ones that were probably the biggest stinkers. What would you say is the best? I'm sorry if you get this question a lot. What would you say is the best one that you guys have read thus far?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
a harder question to answer, I'm sure.
That is a harder question. I think I had a stronger answer last year.
Yeah.
But I think Halo: The Fall of Reach is probably number one.
So I was going to guess. That actually.
Is probably number one. Really good. But also, if we're just talking about the general stratosphere, you have Halo: The Fall of Reach. You have Far Cry Absolution.
I had a fondness for that one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And probably Bioshock Rapture.
That's what I was
is up there as well.
Yeah, I remember when I watched some of the clips from that one too. I remember you guys were posting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think those are my top three as well. That's easily.
Yeah, they're up there. What I thought of the book was it happened, and the words, they appeared in front of me, and I read them.
You read them,
and I took notes on them. And
you read the shit out of them.
I read the shit out of those words.
You did, brother.
And
I kind of want to read Kevin's notes for the other books too.
I only started taking notes recently, which is
This
Phil
is all
has a
Diablo.
Oh wow! If you guys could do like a Patreon, you could add that on there, like your guys' notes as you read it, as like a reader bonus. That would be. I'd read the shit out of that.
I've got one of these. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah. This is the first one. This was the first one. I filled it up. I love the sticker here.
Oh
Born to
yeah,
shit,
actually I
forced to
remember. Yes,
This is
it's like Kevin showed me a picture of this thing, or somehow I saw this in the journal.
You might have posted
we posted
it
on Twitter.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. And
that was great.
It starts out with Resident Evil: The Umbrella Conspiracy, and it's all notes. And the last one,
damn dude,
was on. This is Ninja Gaiden.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
That would actually be like a real supplement. I imagine like a lot of your viewers too, like would be probably like interested, either writers themselves or interested in writing. So having you as someone who literally sells stories like too for a living, getting your notes on like it's like how like game developers will do their like postmortems, and like I always wonder what's in those, and like I know that a lot of them are like I wouldn't like necessarily give these out because your personal notes you would maybe have to edit them, but that would be like a cool supplement to have.
That's not a bad idea. We can scan some of the best ones and stuff like that. That's
right.
Let's you know what? Let's think about doing that.
Yeah.
But you know what else I want you guys to think about? And maybe you shouldn't have to think about it too hard. But what are you playing? Phil, what are you playing this week?
I just wrapped up before my computer died today. Thankfully, I did keep up with the 0.9 update for Vampire Survivors and keep my perfect score on achievements. Very pleased with that.
It's impressive.
I did wrap up, and I'm still playing. I'm still like kind of piddling into the newest Leisure Suit Larry game. Yeah. Wet Dreams Don't Dry 2.
Oh man.
And it's I have a real fondness for Leisure Suit Larry. It was one of the first like franchises that I was excited about when I was a kid because it was dirty words. I didn't know you could do that.
And funny writing.
Yeah.
And
comedy,
I imagine not a lot of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and obviously the old school Leisure Suit Larry has problems in a modern age. But
Sure.
this German developer picked them up a few years back and did a whole kind of reboot. And the first and Wet Dreams Don't Dry was pretty good, actually.
Damn.
It was kind of stupid dad humor, but that's what you were always going to get from Leisure Suit Larry.
Sure.
And it wasn't as sexist or
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah,
like an evolution. That's kind of what you would imagine. It's like a Leisure Suit Larry in a modern era would kind of be this like more wholesome. Yeah, it's maybe cheesy, but like it's not like gross. Yeah, or like an asshole thing.
Right.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And he is a dirtbag, and he's
Sure.
trying to get laid and everything like that. But there's also kind of they've developed him to have kind of more sweeter, virginal almost sort of feel to him. And it's they've taken care of. In the first one, there was a situation where you end up actually helping two gay men get together, and he's like really working hard to make sure these two men fall in love, and it's kind of cute actually. Sure. And now I haven't gotten far into this one, but I'm not sure. We might be backsliding a little bit.
No,
we've got an Asian character who is like just on the cusp of a voice that maybe is not a great thing. And I'd love to just say that, well, maybe the Germans don't get it, but we all know they absolutely do. So I've been playing more of that. And I've been playing a little more of Ravenous Fiends, which is the Sweeney Todd video game, essentially.
That's the Sweeney Todd game.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've not even heard of that.
You play you're familiar with Sweeney Todd, Dylan?
Yes.
You play a couple.
At least insofar as I've seen the movie. I know that there's a play. Yeah.
You play a couple, and one of them, instead of being a barber, is a tailor, and the other one is a baker, and she has a restaurant downstairs, and on the top you have a tailor and a clothes store, and people come in, and while you're measuring them, you slit their throats, you take their clothes, you throw them down a chute, and you control both of the characters, and you have to swap between them. And the wife will take the bodies, grind them up, make them into pies or sausages. Or you can upgrade them and make better pastries.
Brutal.
And while
That's awesome.
she's doing that, you make suits and new clothes out of the old clothes, and you're just going back and forth. It's actually pretty high stress.
It sounds like it. Any kind of dual control system. Also, the idea of like cannibalizing their clothes as well, in addition to like their literal bodies. That's an interesting little twist.
Exactly. Yeah. And you start getting letters from some mysterious stranger who seems to know and is blackmailing you, and so you're trying to, and you're also upgrading both the restaurant and the tailor shop as you go, and it's got this fun strategy simulation feel to it, and it's gruesome and very silly and fun, and it's $5. It's pretty good. It's not bringing the house down, but fuck, I'm really enjoying it. So
yeah, no kidding, especially for $5. That's rad.
Yeah. All right, Dylan, what are you playing?
I have been playing.
Other than your own mod.
I play that a whole lot. If you call it playing, I do a lot of play testing. I have been playing. So we had a really stacked like couple of months, right, where it was just kind of like post-COVID wedding. So I almost didn't get to play like much at all. But I have been still picking away at Elden Ring. I'm, I got to play it more this week. I get pretty hefty sessions in like once every so often. So I think, coming up on the end of Elden Ring, and that's been really fun. Of course, if you like, Souls games, it's not like I need to evangelize Elden Ring to people who, it's like, generally speaking, you're probably, if you like that kind of game, you've already beaten it like 3 times in the amount it's taken me to get through my like first playthrough.
I've put in probably 250 hours.
Nice.
Into it in total.
Nice, dude. It's really fucking good, man. At least like that's how I felt thus far. Like I've really enjoyed it a lot. And then I've been playing today. Actually, I got to play like a 3-hour session of the original Battlefront 2 with a couple of friends, right?
Wow.
Like not the one that just came out, but like the back in the day.
The original Battlefront 2.
Yes, which also like, man, I really wish that they would have named the reboots like something a little bit different, because when we're trying to like search for like fixes and stuff, 'cause it's like an old game, and like it's really hard when the new one's also called Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
But like, damn, dude, those games were so good. I'm not like, the newest ones, like they're cool too, but they're not like those things really were like, the new ones are these, like highly kind of like cinematic, like I would say that, mechanically they might be a little bit tighter in some ways. Even that's such a vague like expression, it's almost meaningless. We'd have to, we'll do like a whole ass dissertation, but like damn it if those original Battlefront games are not like real sandboxes, you know what I mean, like where you can just kind of like, they're like massive, they're open, you have a million different vehicles to play with, you have a million different unit types to play with, you can adjust like every little bit about like how it plays and like what the sandbox is filled with, like the enemy AI. It's never great, right? But like you can make them like pretty dangerous, and just like I don't know, like so many of the different like the sheer volume of content, of course, because games back then didn't require quite the level of like ultra quadruple A polish that something like the Battlefront 2 reboot has.
Right.
It's just like so much content, and like I was sitting, we were by the end of it, it was like, damn, the issue that we're having is that one of our friends lives in London, and or not London, sorry, in England. And so the lag is, a problem, because so many of these old games don't have like dedicated servers or anything anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So it's almost like a weird preservationist.
Somebody's
area.
server is running it in California, and that's really the only place you can connect.
It's either we do that or direct connect, where, either me and my friend who live here, it's good for us and shit for our English friend, or it's the reverse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rad.
Yeah. Nice.
Kevin.
Nice.
My boy.
What am I playing? I also caught up on Vampire Survivors. That's
I see that. I need to add you, Phil, on Steams. I do see Kevin pop up. Yes, being Vampire Survivors every so often.
Vampire Survivors, just like running for hours. I also started playing. I'm on a kick where I'm trying not to buy new games as much. I'm trying to like go through and beat games that I own that I never bothered beating or whatever, get some achievements, all that fun stuff. So not only am I back on XCOM 2, I'm back on Loop Hero.
Because Hero.
Yeah.
Because I never finished Loop Hero. So I need to
actually
finish it now.
Wow, all three of us.
Yeah.
I need to finish Loop
cool
Hero.
shit,
and I broke my own rule. I broke my rule of not buying a new game because I bought the kitty cat game.
Stray.
Stray is I love Stray. It's a fun game, and I texted Phil. If somebody asked me if Stray is a good game, I would say yes, definitely. If somebody asked me randomly if Stray was a horror game, I would say yeah, sometimes.
Interesting,
because it does have some real creepy stuff in it.
I can
so I'm
see
loving.
It kind of has like a weirdo vibe, or like a
it's in a weird cyberpunkish dystopia setting. So you're gonna get a little weird stuff. It gets more appropriately. It gets weirder than Cyberpunk 2077 ever bothers to.
Huh.
So
Cool. That's fun.
Man,
so try Stray if you like a lot of the stuff that Annapurna I think that's Annapurna puts out. I would definitely get Stray because they're to me they're as a company that puts out like neat indie games. I mean, they publish them. I feel like, with the exception of 12 Minutes, which is just a terrible game, they really haven't missed that much overall.
Yeah, sure.
So,
someone called them the A24 of publishers.
They're pretty. Annapurna is pretty much the
call.
A24 of video game publishers. I mean, God, you have this year. You have both Stray and Neon White. which
I did not know that they did Neon White, that they published.
Yeah,
that.
That's
published. Really
they
cool.
published
Damn.
Neon White, which
that's a game.
Neon White occupied my time for a little bit too. But yeah, no, that's what I'm playing, and I think I'm probably like halfway through Stray at this point. I don't think it's particularly long because there's an achievement you can get for finishing it under 2 hours.
Well,
it's like the Resident Evil school of thought.
I think it's got a Resident Evil vibe where if you know what you're doing, you can pretty much sprint through it.
Do you guys know? Does it have a PC port or is it just pure? What's it called?
PlayStation. It's on PS5 and Windows.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why I assumed that it was only PS5, but I did, so I should.
Yeah, I think it's a console exclusive.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
To PlayStation, but it is available on Windows.
Fuck you, Xbox.
Yeah,
2022. We're still doing this, baby.
yeah, baby. Yeah. So that'll do it for what I was playing, and that'll do it for today's episode. Dylan, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and what you're working on and all that fun stuff?
So you can find my kind of primary project, my meat and potatoes, is a mod pack for Skyrim. It's called Wildlander. It is basically an attempt to kind of refashion Skyrim into kind of like an immersive sim. It's very heavily inspired by games like Deus Ex, Kenshi, RimWorld, these kind of very like the world kind of crafts dynamic stories, right? Type of games, which Skyrim is like this brilliant canvas for, but obviously doesn't quite get there like on its own. So it kind of combines a lot of stuff like that with like survival elements, like role-playing elements. There's a lot of things that you can kind of just, there's an in-game journal where you can talk about all the different stuff that your character has been doing and yada, yada, yada. You know how it goes. So you can check that out at wildlandermod.com. And, you know, we have a Discord server. I'm on Twitter. It's, I think, just Dylan B. Perry is like my handle and everything. It's Twitch, you know, weekly I stream development and other random stuff. I think that about covers it. That's really the only social media that I have any sort of like posting presence on would be like Twitter and the subreddit. I guess we have a Wildlander subreddit. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been an absolute blast. I really love it.
Yeah, we've been wanting to have you on for a while.
Absolutely.
Sure. What a fantastic title too to do it. I feel like it's like perfect, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Golden Axe and Skyrim are close in a way.
Yeah, in some ways, most definitely.
Yeah.
In some ways, yeah. But go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was going to say that we used to have an armor. There's a mod called, I think this was Immersive Armors, that added its own little like Conan the Barbarian Easter egg armor.
Ooh,
that was, you know, literally just nice. Like a cloth.
That's nice.
Solid. Like a circlet, his circlet that he wears.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. If you want to help us out, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is @PixelLitPod. Go to our website, pixelitpod.com. There you can find transcripts of every episode. And you can also find links to our Discord and Steam Curator pages. So you can really find, a community to talk to about PixelLit. And on the Curator page, you can find our reviews for some of these games that we talk about in the What Are You Playing segment.
Oh,
so if you can please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and we're on Good Pods now, and you can rate us 5 stars per episode. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for listening to us, and have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Well, that's the end of our show.